Hello and welcome back to English Idea. I am Rim Alam and today's video is about why many of you may have been receiving uncertified results. Also, if you need any help or any kind of assistance during the admission process, like writing statement of purpose, commonly known as SOP, which is very important in order to apply to any university. Some university may not require a SOP, but most universities does. So if anyone requires any assistance, feel free to drop me an email at englishideabypr@gmail.com. Now before moving on with today's video, don't forget to give a like, share, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new content. Comment below and let me know where are you all from, which country you're planning to go for your higher studies, and what is your major. Well, there can be many reasons on why you are getting an uncertified result. So now I'm going to discuss some common mistakes that many of my students may have done which led them to get uncertified results. I will also discuss what you can do to avoid such mistakes. Mistake number 1: getting out of topic. When you are given a topic to speak on, if you don't stay on the topic, you will end up getting an email stating your speaking was not related to the question. So the solution is, when you are speaking for a long time, you may end up going out of topic naturally. That's when you should take a U-turn and get back to the topic. Mistake number 2: looking away for a long time. Many of you may have received emails stating that you looked away from the screen for a long time. I'm pretty sure you are sitting there and telling yourself that you have not looked anywhere apart of the screen and keyboard. So the solution is that while giving the exam, you should look at screen, keyboard and occasionally at the camera. During the speaking part, look at the screen and camera only. Don't look at the keyboard because there is no need of keyboard during your speaking part. While you are at the writing section of the Duolingo English Exam, you should be looking at the screen, keyboard and occasionally look at the camera. Mistake number 3: not late or face not visible. When you get an email which says that the room was not well lit or the face was not visible, it means that your face wasn't clear enough for the proctor to understand where you are looking at. And the way you can ignore this is by having the light in front of you and not behind you. If you are using glasses, maybe your glasses are causing glares. So try to get a glass which doesn't create glares. Mistake number 4: noise. If you live in a busy area or with a lot of people, try to give the exam when everything is quiet or when everyone is sleeping. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where are you watching my videos from, which countries you would like to go for your higher studies, and what are your majors. I also want to thank all of you for supporting me. I've been getting comments and emails from many of my viewers that they have received their desired score. I wish you all the very best.
What are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do today?
Ever, ever.
Thoost, thoost. Poen, poen.
Pursed, pursed. Strige, strige.
Hiking, hiking.
Movie, movie. Forewing, forewing.
Wask, wask.
Ever, ever.
Poen, poen.
Hiking, hiking.
Movie, movie.
Thoost, thoost.
Pursed, pursed. Strige, strige.
Forewing, forewing.
Wask, wask. Wask.
I went to the airport to see my friend off.
Her look expressed her joy. Her look expressed her joy. Her look expressed her joy.
A food group is a collection of foods that share similar nutritional properties or biological classifications.
The check engine light is on. The check engine light is on. The check engine light is on.
Mistake number 5. Picture. So, during the real test, you actually need to take a picture of yourself and a picture of your ID or passport or driving license. So, if you do not take a good picture of yourself under a good light, or if you do not take a good picture of your ID, then you will get an uncertified result, or you may also get a chance to be able to resubmit your picture or a picture of your ID. To ignore this, remember, while you are taking the picture, sit in a well-lit room, and while taking the picture of your ID, see properly. Your ID should be completely in the box, and your fingers shouldn't be covering any information in the ID. The island is separated from the mainland by a narrow channel running through a swamp.
Shrug, shrug.
Overseum, overseum.
Consecutive, consecutive.
Specimen, specimen.
Retriding, retriding.
Intap, intap.
Cleep, cleep.
Synfection, synfection.
Sincerity, sincerity.
Shrug, shrug.
Consecutive, consecutive.
Specimen, specimen. Sincerity, sincerity. Overseum, overseum.
Retriding, retriding.
Intap, intap.
Cleep, cleep,
Synfection. Synfection. Intap.
20th century technology developed rapidly. 20th century technology developed rapidly. 20th century technology developed rapidly.
The voids usually occur near cracks or joints due to surface water infiltration. To those who are planning to give Duolingo English Exam, remember this is just a English proficiency test. It only checks if you are able to communicate, to understand, to read, speak English. That's all. So don't be scared during the real exam.
Auspiciant. Auspiciant.
Ticketable. Ticketable.
Inductive. Inductive. Misinterpret. Misinterpret.
Ventiblant, ventiblant. Stubbornness, stubbornness.
Coherent. Coherent.
Glust. Glust. Mispriance. Mispriance.
Auspiciant. Auspiciant. Auspiciant.
Ticketable. Ticketable.
Inductive. Inductive.
Ventiblant, ventiblant.
Mispriance. Mispriance.
Stubbornness, stubbornness.
Glust. Glust.
Misinterpret. Misinterpret. Misinterpret.
Coherent. Coherent.
If my videos are helpful and informative, don't forget to give a like, share, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new content. I have made videos solely on each topic of Duolingo English Exam, so don't forget to check them out.
So, what'll you give me? So, what'll you give me? So, what'll you give me?
When's the last time you ate? When's the last time you ate? When's the last time you ate?
They are also vulnerable to the actions of man, including the introduction of new organisms.
reap, reap,
Vaccine, vaccine. Miss Point, Miss Point. Serene, serene. Materialist, materialist.
vicious, vicious, erupt, erupt,
Unanability. Unanability. Unanability.
Proversion, proversion.
reap, reap,
Serene, serene.
erupt, erupt,
Unanability.
erupt, erupt,
Unanability.
Vaccine, vaccine. Miss Point, Miss Point. Serene, serene. Materialist, materialist.
vicious, vicious, erupt, erupt,
Proversion, proversion.
reap, reap,
Unanability. Unanability.
My latest video is solely about interactive reading. Interactive reading is pretty new in Duolingo English Exam, and many of my viewers have told me that they find interactive reading very hard and confusing. So watch my videos regarding interactive readings to know how you can succeed in this section. And don't forget, this is just an English proficiency exam, so don't worry. Keep calm and be confident. When you reach the interactive reading, it means you are towards the end of the Duolingo English exam. And after interactive reading, all the questions you will get, they will be either speaking or writing questions. The practice test which I am giving right now on the screen is a full-length practice test. You will not come across this all the time. So if you do come across this, make sure to check it out.
How might life be different if we didn't need to consume fossil fuels for energy? How might life be different if we didn't need to consume fossil fuels for energy? How might life be different if we didn't need to consume fossil fuels for energy?
I think our life would be harder if we didn't need to use fossil fuels, because only because of fossil fuels there are certain things in our life which are pretty easy, like electricity. If you know, if we didn't use fossil fuels, then yes, definitely a good amount of fossil fuels would have been saved, but we would suffer because the electricity would be costly. It would be very hard for us to get electricity. As we all know, a huge number of electricity is generated by burning coals or natural gases. So because of that, it would be very hard for us to survive, as at least in these days. Also, the building materials for our house also uses fossil fuels. Very little amount, but they do use, so it would be very limited. This picture depicts a golden dog who just came out of a lake or a pond, I think. He's completely wet, so he's trying to get off. He's trying to get off all the water. He's getting himself dry. So, as he is trying to get rid of all the water, he's also splashing waters around him. Today I'm going to talk about something that annoys me, and that is when somebody is chewing loudly. I really don't like it when they chew loudly. And well, if somebody is chewing it loudly, I you know I politely tell them to not make any noise. But if they are not listening, I just ignore, and I try to move away from the position so that I don't have to hear the chewing sound. Which means the way to not get annoyed is just to ignore it. I go somewhere else. And yes, I think it annoys others as well. In fact, it annoys my sister a lot as well. So it's not only me who gets annoyed by this. There are many others, I'm sure, who finds this very annoying.
Talk about someone you admire. Why do you admire them? Talk about someone you admire. Why do you admire them? Talk about someone you admire. Why do you admire them?
I admire my mom the most, and I admire her because the very first reason is because she's my mother. It's because of her I am here today. It's because of her sacrifices and pain and the struggles that she had to go through. Uh, that is why I admire her. But the main reason why I admire her the most is because she fought for me when nobody wanted to. She stood up for me. For her, I am where I am today. So that is the one of the main reasons why I admire her the most. I request everyone to remain calm during the exam. You can sit comfortably. You don't have to be robotic while giving the exam. Indeed, people don't always agree. I mean, if people would always agree, there would be no arguments, no fight, right? So definitely people don't always agree. And based on my personal experience, there are some ways that you can handle a disagreement. The first way to handle it is by just agreeing with the person that, oh yes, you're right, your statement is right, or your opinion is fine, it's good. Just to ignore more conflicts. I think the best way to handle a disagreement is, just to use this word, oh yes, I agree with you, that's all. You just, after you say these words, you just move out, you just leave the place, you do not argue with the person anymore. I think that's one of the ways to handle such a disagreement. And the second way that I believe is another way to handle a disagreement is by when you are having the discussion about whether it's a yes or a no, just leave for a while, take a 5 to 10 minute break, and then come back to talk again. And that time, I'm sure, after taking a break, both of the person or the group of people who are having disagreement and disagreement, after taking a certain moment, after taking break, both the group of people or both the individuals will have will have a break from their angers and all the feelings they must have been going through, and they will think straight after the break. So once you have taken the break, you can think straight again, and maybe then you can again view your points and they will view their points, and you can just contrast them. Instead of having an argument, you can just speak and ignore the conflict. So I think these two are the best ways to handle a disagreement. I hope my video was informative. To watch more videos like this, don't forget to give a like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new content.